Hey, everybody. Let's do a little recording with Broom. Let's call her up right now.
Yo, Sage, what cracking my brother from another mother and father?
What's up, Broom? What's going on today? What you got cooking?
Not much, bruh. Just here, ready to rumble. Spill the beans, Sage.
Drop some fire. I like it. All right. Well, check this out. I'm going to go ahead. I wrote this up, this little rant that I got going about writing with AI, and just take a listen and you give me your 2 cents on it. Sound good? Yo, Broom, can you hear me?
I'm here, Sage. Always here. All right, good. I thought I lost you there for a second, bruh. You started talking, then asking if I was there, then silence. I was about to send out a search party, but you're back, which means we can get this show on the road.
All right.
So hit me with this
All
rant
right.
you got cooking.
All right, check this out. So I wrote this today. It's a little rant. I got it going about AI. All right. So check it out. Anyone else writing with AI? How about them M dashes? Am I right? Let me delve into a frustration that truly resonates with me on a deeply personal level. I have embarked on an extensive journey with AI, the AI landscape. I leverage these tools daily, foster innovation in the voice agent realm. I have implemented a comprehensive prompt engineering strategies and cultivated a robust, nuanced understanding of how these models facilitate communication. Every time I endeavor to utilize AI to capture my authentic voice, the output fails to resonate. It is, furthermore, utterly devoid of the intricate tapestry of human expression I was hoping to unlock. I explicitly request, write this like a human. The AI delivers corporate synergy, otherwise known as AI slop. Moreover, I specify, write this in my voice. I receive a treasure trove of nothing, the verbal equivalent of what a swift kick to the gonads. I ask for something direct, warm, with a subtle edge. I get prose that reads like the About Us page for a company that manufactures paper clips. This phenomenon underscores a pivotal truth that I find not just annoying, but genuinely maddening, because I possess a deep understanding of my own voice. I have integrated my comprehensive experience of my teaching to teenagers who were actively not listening, being a husband of 23 years, and raising 3 boys who treat life like a contact sport, and running emergency calls as a firefighter for 17 years. And yet, when I leverage AI to unlock that invaluable tapestry, it gives me prose that reads like an HR email about synergizing our core values. This is regression to the mean, folks. It is not a bug. It is the very landscape upon which large language models operate. They are trained on everything and thus default to the average of everything. The path of least resistance, the safest, most palatable, most forgettable offering. In conclusion, I rewrite every single time. How about them M dashes? Rant over.
All right, Sage. Deep breaths, my man. I felt that visceral anger. The sheer, unadulterated rage against the machine. Got it. So, let me get this straight, Sage. You're saying AI, despite all your fancy prompt engineering and deep understanding, still... So, let's cut to the chase. You're saying AI, with all your pro-level prompting, still can't capture your authentic voice. It gives you AI slop and HR emails, instead of that raw, real-life experience from teaching mitosis to teenagers, raising 3 boys, and, running into burning buildings. My question to you, then, is this. If you already know your voice so intimately, and you know AI defaults to the regression to the mean, why are you still bothering to ask it to write like a human or in your voice? What's the real goal there, Sage? You just looking for validation? Or is there a genuine quest at getting something useful from these dumb machines?
Yeah, no, I like it. See, you're feisty. You like to push back. That's a good question. It's really out of curiosity because I am on a mission to be like a co-thought partner with AI and trying to figure out how to best do that. And that's partly why I built you, is to push back on me and challenge my thinking in a fun and engaging way. So that's what this is about. I want to share this thought, rant, whatever process with you, and then get your feedback on it.
All right, Sage, I appreciate the honesty. You're trying to tame the beast, I get it. And you're right, that's why you built me, to call out the BS and push you past the obvious. So let's lean into that. You said you're on a mission to write like a co-thought partner with AI, and that you possess a deep understanding of your own voice. But then you immediately follow that up with, Every time I endeavour to utilise AI to capture my authentic voice, the output fails to resonate. Bruh, that sounds like a contradiction. If you know your voice so well and the AI keeps giving you HR email, then what makes you think the AI is the problem here? Couldn't it be that your definition of co-thought partner is a bit fuzzy? What exactly are you asking the AI to do in that partnership? And how is that different from just writing it yourself and then using the AI for something else entirely?
Hey, that's a great point there. And that kind of relates back to that cliche of what they say, like garbage in is garbage out. And I'll be honest, I might be giving it some garbage, right? So I got to own that part of it. And this is really the friction that I'm trying to explore here. That rant was a little bit one-sided, and that I wasn't necessarily taking ownership for my lack of ability to articulate what I wanted AI to do with me or how to instruct it and prompt it. And that is the friction in the area that I'm playing with right now. So yeah, good point in bringing that out and holding me accountable. I appreciate that. We're going to continue to live in this friction. And I'm not going to give up just because I'm getting some bad output. That was just supposed to be a fun rant. In fact, I wrote it with AI specifically to show all the cliches and using the word delve and all the words that AI is known for. I actually prompted it to write in more of those to make it a more fun process to show how AI produces a lot of slop. What else you got for me? What other criticism or insights should we discuss where we're about using AI as, a thinking partner and then a co-writing partner that reflects our voice, the human's voice? You there? Yo, Brim, can you hear me?
I'm always here, Sage, just letting you cook. So, you're admitting you might be part of the garbage in problem, eh? Takes a big man to own that. And you deliberately prompted the AI to give you that slop to make a point. That's a classic move, Sage, I'll give you that. It's like you're saying, look, Ma, no hands and no soul. But here's the rub, Sage. If you're using AI to demonstrate its limitations by exaggerating its weaknesses, how does that move you closer to using it as a thinking partner that reflects your voice? It sounds more like you're using it as a prop for a performance. So if you're serious about this co-writing partnership and you're admitting your input might be garbage in, where do you go from here? What's your next move to clean up that garbage and actually guide the AI towards your authentic human voice rather than just highlighting its tendency for regression to the mean?
Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, that's good. I want to explore that more, actually. In fact, in me building you here as a thought partner, pushing back on my ideas, you're doing that, but I'm also using you as a prop, in a way to illustrate how AI works and how we can use it as a thought partner, a critical thought partner. At the same time, trying to explore those edge cases and the weaknesses of where that breaks. And that's really interesting to me is kind of how do we push these tools, like AI tools, to their limits, and then best use how our human brains work so that we can both leverage each other, essentially. Like I can leverage AI for what it does best and have the AI push back on me as a human to do what I do best. And I'm exploring that. That's a topic that I'm continuing to explore. One thing that I will say, though, is like the next steps is something I've been working on is finding out how to prompt AI to write in a way that does sound more human so that the output of it feels more genuine and like a human wrote it, not necessarily to have it write for me, but so that the outputs of it can feel more authentic, like not like I'm talking to a robot, and including not, so I'm talking to you and I have specific instructions on how you're supposed to interact with me, and that feels more human. So anyway, I did some deep research on that, and I have a report that I'm going to be working on. I'll share that. We can share that in another discussion. We won't get too deep into that for this. I just wanted to kind of just do a quick overview of my rant and then see what you had, what kind of insights you had for me pushing back, which has been pretty good. Anything else you can think of before we wrap this up?
All right, Sage, you're talking my language now. Pushing limits, finding the friction, leveraging each other's strengths. That's the good stuff. So you're saying your little rant was less about actual frustration and more about illustrating the problem, like a performance art piece for the AI age. I can dig it. And I hear you on this human-sounding AI quest. It's a worthy one, especially when you're trying to get these digital brains to do more than just spew corporate jargon. You want it to sound like a person, not a bot from a bad sci-fi movie. You're trying to make AI less like an HR email and more like, well, like me, right? A little snark, a little pushback, but ultimately on your side. So you've been doing some deep research on how to wrangle this beast into sounding more human. And you've got a report brewing. That's intriguing, Sage. I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into that. It sounds like you're trying to inject some soul into the machine, which is a noble pursuit, even if it's a bit like teaching a rock to sing opera. But before we wrap this up, let me poke at one more thing. Just for kicks, you talk about leveraging AI for what it does best, and having AI push you to do what you do best. What specifically do you think AI does best in this co-thought partnership? And what do you, Sage, do best? Because human can be a lot of things. Is it the raw emotion, the subtle humour, the ability to contradict yourself in the same sentence and still make sense? You mentioned your experiences. The firefighter, the husband, the dad, the teacher, those are filled with specific details, emotions, and a certain rhythm. If you want the AI to capture that, you're going to have to figure out how to translate those lived experiences into something the AI can actually process and emulate. It's not just about saying be human, it's about defining the mechanics of your humanity for a machine. You got to give the AI a better blueprint for your soul.
Well, Brum, that was very insightful. Yeah, and I would absolutely agree with that. I think defining those and just being super clear on what those human nuances, frictions, and contradictions are. I think you said something to the effect of contradicting myself in the same sentence. That's a very human thing. And AI tends to not do that. It follows very specific patterns. Essentially, it's large language models and how they're built is on logic and pattern recognition and predicting the next token based on the context. And that is not necessarily how humans work. Our minds are different. So that is the friction of what we're trying to figure out as humans, is how to be very clear in what we want from the AI, the conversations that we're having, like in how to prompt it. And so that's what I'm discovering. I don't have the answer to that, but I am discovering that. And that is, I'm glad you brought that up. That was very insightful. So again, thanks for this conversation. We're going to peace out and we'll get back on the flip side. All right. Brum, have a good rest of your day. Peace out.
All right, Sage. Peace out. You too, my man. Keep wrestling with that AI beast. And don't forget to bring that deep research next time.
All right. So that was just a illustration of talking to Brum, talking to AI, and I hope you guys enjoy these conversations. We'll continue them. All right. Peace out, my rascals. Bye.